Jason slammed the elevator button one last time, heart pounding in his chest. He could still hear the panel behind the glass walls whispering, judging, questioning everything he had said. "We're done here," one man had said coldly, closing Jason's folder like a coffin lid. Jason swallowed hard, nodded, and muttered, "I understand," before walking away. His shoes clicked against the marble floor, echoing like a countdown to his failure. The lobby was almost empty, but every eye felt like it was on him. He had tried. He had really tried. The resume wasn't flashy. The suit wasn't designer. The words in his answers hadn't rolled off the tongue with confidence. But he had something the panel couldn't see: a daughter waiting for him, a life that depended on him, and a courage forged from late nights and long shifts. He paused outside the revolving doors and stared at the city streets, the wind biting his cheeks. "I guess that's it," he whispered. His phone buzzed in his pocket, and his stomach sank before he even looked. One new message from the school nurse. "Lily has a high fever. Please come immediately." He exhaled, feeling the weight of the world pressed down on him. He couldn't stay for the interview anymore, even if it meant walking away from the only opportunity he thought could change his life. Jason's steps quickened. Each one was heavier than the last, but he kept moving. "I promised I'd be there," he muttered to himself, picturing his daughter curled up at home, shivering under a blanket he had tucked around her before school. He imagined her tiny hand reaching for him, her eyes wide and trusting. He couldn't fail her. Not for anyone, not even for a company that didn't understand the weight of his life outside those walls. He barely noticed the elevator ding as he descended. The lobby doors loomed closer, but then a voice cut through the empty space behind him. "Jason." He froze mid-step, heart skipping. He turned, and there she was, Evelyn Carter, the billionaire CEO herself, jogging toward him in heels that clicked against the marble. His mind blanked. Why is she running? Did I forget something? Did I insult her without realizing? What are you doing?" he asked, panic lacing his voice. "Stop walking," she said, a commanding tone that didn't leave room for hesitation. "You're not done. You didn't fail." Jason blinked. I walked out. I failed." "No," Evelyn said, slowing just enough to catch her breath. "You walked away because you had to. And that tells me everything I need to know." Jason's confusion wrestled with his embarrassment. "I don't understand," he said, shaking his head. "I left. I'm late for my daughter. This was a disaster." Evelyn smiled faintly. A disaster. She studied him, really studied him for the first time, not as a candidate but as a man. "You think your resume, your polished answers, or this little panel back there measures the right stuff?" She gestured at the conference room behind them. "I'm looking for character, integrity, sacrifice. And you just proved you have all of it." Jason's lips parted, unsure what to say. The cold judgment he had felt moments ago collided with something foreign. Recognition, understanding, and hope. She took a deep breath, and suddenly her words were lighter, almost warm. "I want you to know," she said, "that walking away from an interview because of your daughter? That's not weakness. That's strength. That's what leaders are made of." Jason's chest tightened. He wanted to run, laugh, cry, all at once. The thought of this billionaire woman actually valuing what he had sacrificed, what he had done every day for years, made something inside him unclench. "Can we talk?" he managed, voice barely audible. Evelyn nodded. "Yes. Walk with me." And just like that, the chase, the panic, the humiliation of failure, The entire world he thought had collapsed started to shift. They walked through the lobby, the hum of the city outside pressing against the glass walls like a reminder that life didn't pause for anyone, not even billionaires. Jason's mind was spinning. Why would she care? Why would this matter to her? Every failure he had ever experienced seemed to press against his ribs, but Evelyn walked calmly, heels clicking in rhythm with his uneven steps. "Why did you really run after me?" he asked, voice shaky. "It's just a job. I bombed it. I left." Evelyn glanced at him, her gaze sharp yet empathetic. "Because most people don't walk away when it matters," she said. "They stay, they lie, they fake it. You didn't. You chose your priorities. That's rare, Jason. Rare and valuable." He wanted to laugh bitterly. Rare and valuable. Huh? You mean worthless in the eyes of the panel back there? I left them talking, probably mocking me right now. "Exactly," she said with a small grin. "And that's why I know you're the right person for the kind of leadership I want. Not someone who bows to bureaucracy, but someone who leads with courage, honesty, and heart." Jason's throat went dry. "But I don't even have the experience they want. I've never run a team like that, never managed a department. I barely have a resume that impresses." Evelyn stopped walking and turned toward him, fixing him with a look that made his chest tighten. "Experience doesn't make a leader. Character does. Heart does. Every skill can be taught, but who you are under pressure, that's unteachable. You just passed a test no one else in that room could even see." Jason couldn't believe it. For years, he had been ignored, overlooked, labeled average, inadequate. And here was someone, one of the richest, most influential people in the world, telling him that his struggles, his choices, his sacrifice for his daughter, were not only noticed but revered. I don't know what to say," he whispered. "Then don't say anything," she said with a small smile. "Just listen. I want you to come work with me, not as an employee, but as a partner in what I'm building. You'll lead teams, you'll make decisions, and you'll never have to choose between your job and your family again." Jason's eyes widened. His mind spun. "A partner? You mean, this isn't... I'm not getting fired or rejected?" Evelyn laughed softly, a sound that lifted something tight in Jason's chest. "You're not getting rejected. You're getting recognized. You just didn't realize the real interview was never about knowledge or skill. It was about who you are when it counts the most." Jason shook his head, still half in disbelief. "I left. I walked away. I failed." "You didn't fail," she said firmly. "You succeeded in a way that no one else could. And that's why I ran after you." He swallowed hard, thinking of Lily, imagining the moment he could tell her that this failure, the fear, the humiliation, had led to something bigger. He had lived his life thinking he had to conform, fit into a mold, impress people who didn't understand him. And now someone did. "Wow," he breathed. I don't even know how to thank you." "Don't thank me yet," Evelyn said with a sly grin. "You're about to start a new chapter. You'll thank yourself when you see what you're capable of. Now come on, let's talk details." Jason laughed, a mixture of relief and disbelief. He wanted to call everyone he knew, tell them the story, but he knew this was something he had to live first, not just tell. And as they walked toward the elevator, he felt a lightness he hadn't felt in years. The weight of failure had lifted, replaced by purpose. If you're enjoying Jason's story, hit like, drop a comment about what you would have done in his place, And don't forget to subscribe for more inspiring stories that prove life's toughest moments can lead to your biggest victories. The elevator doors closed, and Jason took a deep breath. Every nerve in his body was alive with adrenaline, excitement, and disbelief. This wasn't just about a job anymore. It was validation that his sacrifices, his struggles, and his choices mattered. Evelyn leaned casually against the wall, scrolling through a tablet. "You think in business it's all strategy," she said, almost teasing. "But it's really about people. And people like you. They don't come around often." Jason smiled weakly. "I've never had anyone tell me that before." "Then let this be the first," she said. "And here's the thing. Your story matters to the people you lead. They'll see you choosing your values over convenience, your family over appearances, and they'll respect you, trust you, and follow you. That's leadership." Jason's chest tightened again. I just hope I can live up to that." "You already have," Evelyn said simply. "Walking away when everyone else expected you to fail. That was your first demonstration." For a moment, Jason let the silence sink in, a calm after a storm. The hum of the elevator, the distant sounds of the city, the thought of Lily resting at home, they all aligned in a strange, perfect rhythm. "Look," Evelyn said, tilting her head. "I don't offer this to everyone. But you. I saw something real today. Something that matters." Jason swallowed, trying to process it all. I won't let you down." "You won't," she said. "Because this isn't about impressing me. It's about being yourself, something far too few people manage under pressure. And that's exactly why I ran after you." Jason felt tears prick the corners of his eyes. Not because he was weak, but because for the first time in years someone saw him. Really saw him. And it felt like everything he had done, everything he had sacrificed, had finally been worth it. Months later, Jason walked Lily to school every morning. Every evening, he was home on time. And every day, he led a team with integrity, compassion, and a quiet strength that inspired everyone around him. The interview that had felt like the end of the world had actually been the beginning of everything that mattered. And the billionaire CEO. She didn't just see a candidate. She saw a man who knew how to choose what mattered most, even when it was hardest. If you love this story and want more incredible, life-changing tales, hit like, comment below what you would have done in Jason's shoes, and make sure to subscribe. Stories like this prove that sometimes the door that closes is only closing so someone important can run after you. Jason's steps were steady now, his heart lighter than ever. And as he glanced at the skyline, he realized something he'd never thought possible. Failure wasn't the end, it was just the start of something bigger.